Hello and welcome to Shanmugh Mayas Academy. This is Ashwin. Let us enter into today's current events of the day. So the topics that we are going to discuss today are Bangalore scientists develop Arka Subha. It is a variety of marigold. We are going to study about that. Pongdam Lake Wildlife Sanctuary has much amount of migratory water bats. So we are going to discuss about that also. Landslip likely triggered flash flood. So last time we have seen that in Uttarakhand we were facing much amount of flood, glaciers outburst, but nowadays it seems that is not a glacial outburst, that is a landslip. So we are going to discuss that. And next one we are going to see about an handicraft, that is Kinal craft. And the next one is Denmark to build world's first energy island in North Sea. So these are all the 5 topics that we are going to discuss today. So let us take up the first one, that is Bangalore scientists develop Arka Subha variety of marigold. So Arka Subha is a new variety. It has been developed by IIHR, that is Indian Institute of Horticulture Research. It has developed a new variety of marigold that is known as Arka Subha. Please remember the name of this marigold variety. So what is a marigold flower? It comes under the family of Asteraceae. Sunflower also comes under the family of Asteraceae. So the native or the origin of this marigold is from Americas. So Americas in the sense North America and South America. Then it became naturalized around the world. So it spread among other countries also from Americas. So let us take the significance. What is the significance? Why we are going for the new variety? So we are exporting or importing much amount of pharmaceutical materials from other countries. So to produce pharmaceutical materials, that means the beautification things we need for the people of India, we are importing much amount of carotene from China. So for India we are importing carotene from China and other countries. So much imports are from China. So to loss or rectify this import loss we are importing from China, we are going for new variety which is having much amount of carotene. So this Arka Subha having much amount of carotene. So this carotene will be useful for the production of pharmaceutical sectors and industries. So after the dry or after the harvest of this floss, marigold floss, will go on perish. It will be perished. So after the decay of this floss, we will not be having carotene. So in this Arka Subha variety of marigold, we can extract the crude carotene after the delay of harvest or during the period of rain. It is having 2.8% of carotene content, which is ever best other than other marigold varieties. So the carotene content is from plant source is very highest in the Arka Subha, as usually in marigold. In specific Arka Subha it is very higher. So other uses of Arka Subha are, it can be used for ornamental purposes. It can be used in poultry sector. Let us see what is the ornamental purposes. The flowers can be sold for ornamental purposes too. So it is having the market value. So poultry sector we can use this. The variety of use in the poultry sector, it is having the variety of use, and mainly the petals of this marigold flower can be used in the poultry sector to increase the quality of yolk. So yolk is the main product which gives the protein to the consumer. So the protein rich yolks can be produced when the poultry is fed up with this petals of this Arka Subha. So these are the 2 main advantages of this new variety developed by IIHR. So let us discuss a new thing that is related to migratory water birds, and the question can be asked with regarding environmental science. A lack of migratory water birds arrived at Pongdam Lake. Pongdam Lake Wildlife Sanctuary in Himachal Pradesh during winter. So what is Pongdam Sanctuary? It is known as Pongdam Reservoir or Pongdam Lake. It is located in Himachal Pradesh as we discussed. So this lake has given with the identity of Ramsar site. So it comes under the Ramsar Wetland Convention. So it is important to discuss about it. So we will not be having much time to discuss about the Ramsar site separately. So we have to study while studying for the current affairs. So let us discuss the vegetation over there in that sanctuary. This sanctuary having both tropical and subtropical forests. It shelters a great number of Indian wildlife animals. So wild animals are living more in that sanctuary. This lake, this Pungdam lake is fed up with Bees River. It is a tributary of Sindh. Its numerous perennial tributaries are Gaj, Neergal, Binbab, Hull, Bangana and Banir. These are the extra perennial tributaries. So perennial tributaries in the sense it will not dry up. It will be flowing all year. So it will not dry up. It will be flowing all the year or fully of the year. Fauna. The sanctuary is host to around 220 species of birds belonging to 54 families. Migratory birds from all over Hindu Kush Himalayas and also as far as Siberia come here during the winter. So this sanctuary or the lake is hosting a shelter for the birds which are coming from Hindu Kush Himalayas and Siberia. The flag species of this lake is bar-headed geese. So we have to study about the bar-headed geese because it is prevalent over this sanctuary. So this picture is showing up the bar-headed geese. So it will be looking like a duck, but it is geese. The neck will be longer. Its mouth portion, that is beak, will be different. So it is a bar-headed geese. The total population of the birds as well as the number of species counted this year is marginally less. That is why we are going to further study over there. Probably due to the impact of avian influenza. So we know that the influenza which is prevalent among the birds. When the influenza affects the birds, it will be known as bird flu. So the bird flu is known as avian influenza virus is caused this bird flu. So let us discuss the landslip likely triggered flash flood. So in the previous days current affairs we have discussed this as a glacial outburst. So it is not actually a glacial outburst which caused the flood among the regions of Uttarakhand, Haridwar and other places of Uttarakhand state. So let us discuss why it is not a glacial outburst and why it is called as flash flood. So in satellite images we will be satellitizing or monitoring the lakes, the glacial lakes around the Himalayan region. But the images in the satellites does not show any glacial lake over there in that region. So there is something different happened over there apart from glacial lake outburst. So we have clearly discussed what is glacial outburst in the previous class. Please watch that current affair also. So let us discuss what is flash flood. So Central Water Commission of India monitors and prepares the monthly reports on the state of glacial lakes and water bodies that is beyond 10 hectares above satellite. So CWC, what it doing? It does monitor all the water bodies in India which are having the area of 10 hectares and more to the satellite. So the satellite images are not showing any different kind of actions happened according to glacial lake outburst. So it is not true. The glacial outburst is not happened over there. It is a flash flood. So let us discuss what is flash flood by CWC. So the flash flood is different from glacial outburst. It is caused by a sudden change happens in the glaciers. So what happens? The hanging glacier, and on the top of the glacier was a huge rock mass. There was a huge rock mass above which there was a huge amount of glacier that is hanging. Over a period of time, freezing and thawing and temperature variation happen to that rock. So here the deterioration process takes place. So the deterioration leads to withering of rocks. The withering process happens in the high altitudes, leads to the falling of the glaciers in the top of the glacier region. It will create a pressure on the hanging part of the glacier. So this disintegration causes the pressure over there in the glacier, which is happened to the snowfall. So snowfall also was a weightage on the hanging glacier. So this hanging glacier is moved down from the higher altitude. It caused a major outburst. So this was the flash flood. So this was a flash flood which destroys and lead to the death of the human beings over there in the Uttarakhand. So this was the process which happened over there in the Uttarakhand. It is not a glacial outburst as per the studies of CWC. So this flash flood caused the damage to the construction of Dapawan Hydel project in Uttarakhand and Rishi Ganga dam site. It caused the crashing over the Rishi Ganga dam site, which is located in Uttarakhand. So these all are the two natural events happened. So let us discuss art and culture based question, that is Kinnal craft. Social media has given a boost to the artisans of Kinnal craft and their wooden dolls. So what is Kinnal craft? A Kinnal is a district which is present in Karnataka state. It is Kinnal or Kopal. It is the other name for this Kinnal craft, Kinnal district. The craft was awarded a geographical indication. So I have a question regarding to geographical indication tag. Let us discuss in a minute. So who all are the artisans? Who all are making these crafts? The persons who makes these crafts are known as chitragas. They use a local variety of wood. So it is a wooden craft to the wood called as Pokimaran, which grows in and around the Jabulguda village near Kopal. So this material also specific to that region. This product is also being a specific one regarding to that region. So let us discuss the origin of this craft. So it is originated in the century of 15th and 16th century. It is thought to have gained prominence and patronage under the Vijayanagara Empire. The empire was there at the time of these crafts was Vijayanagara Empire. Later it spread among Nawabs of Kopal. The carvings on the famous Hampi chariot. This is the Hampi chariot. It is a chariot-like structure made by wooden. So this wooden-like handiwork of Kinnal artisans known as Hampi chariot. Some colors might be used in the handicrafts. So this handicrafts contains the colors of red, green, yellow and black. These are the watercolors or anomaly. Themes are basically by the mythology, such as idols of deities, Hanuman, Garuda, Gauri and Durga. So see the example. These are the deities. Many of the artisans are also involved in making larger idols for the local village festivals. So no doubt there were festivals also there in the 15th and 16th century. The festivals deities are made up of this handicrafts artisans. The significance of this craft. The Kinnal toys also have a signature gold and silver color. Apart from red, yellow and black, they have used gold and silver color. It is a special techniques, Lajvara method. So Lajvara is a method has been used in this art to produce gold and silver color. It is prepared by hand beating of sheets of tin. So by the beating of sheets of tin, the colors of gold and silver is produced by the process. So it is a tedious process and it is also an expensive process. So let us discuss an energy related one. It is also an environmental perspective question related current affair. Denmark to build a world's first energy island. So it is a world's first energy island going to be constructed in North Sea. So government of Denmark has approved a plan to build an artificial island. So it is an artificial island going to be constructed among the Sea of North. It is a part of its effort to switch to green energy. So the world is moving to green energy to restrict the climate change effects. So the Denmark is planning to find the new energy source, that is the first energy island in North Sea. So what is energy island? An energy island is based on platform that serves a hub for electricity generation from surrounding offshore winds. So here we have to discuss what is sea breeze or onshore wind. And the next one is land breeze or offshore. So sea breeze in the sense the movement of wind from sea to land. Here the movement of wind in the sense of land breeze is movement of wind from land to sea. That is land breeze or offshore winds. So here we are going to plant much amount of windmills which will be producing electricity through the actions of turbines present in them. So the wind which moves from the land to sea will be feeding the turbines over there. So the turbines will be producing much amount of electricity. So this island will be acting as a hub to generate the electricity. This is the main project. So what is the purpose? Its primary purpose is to provide large-scale offshore wind power, as we have discussed earlier. It also aims to connect and distribute power between Denmark and neighboring countries. So they are going to sell the electricity to the neighboring countries, which will be contributing to their economy. So location, it is an artificial island, will be located about 80 km into the North Sea. The majority of it will be owned by the Denmark government. So the 80 km of this position or the location of this island will be owned by Denmark government. What is the significance? It is estimated about the area which covers about 18 football pitches. It will almost the area which is caused by 18 football pitches. The project is being called the largest construction project to be undertaken in the Denmark history. So they have never taken any kind of this much area based project. This is the first one by the Denmark government. So we are at the end of our session. Okay, let us discuss the prelims based questions, as usual we do. So let us see what is geographical indication. Geographical indication is given by Department of Industry and Internal Trade, Department of Promotion for Industry and Internal Trade, DPIIT. This is a department which gives geographical indication tag. What is geographical indication? Geographical indication is a product based or a commodity based or anything based which is prevalent or specific to that region. For example, if you take in Tamil Nadu, we are having Dindigul lock. In Palani, we are having Panchamigda. Likewise, every region will be having specific product which is prevalent among that region. So this prevalent materials or the products should give an importance for its exports among other countries. So we are giving geographical indication tag to the Department of Promotion for Industry and Internal Trade. So let us discuss the question. The first Indian product to get the geographical indication tag is Darjeeling tea. The answer is B. It is not Arumula Kannadi, it is not Katrani rice, it is not Madhubani paintings. These all are given geographical indications tags, but these are all the ones which are not given the first preference. The first one which has been given the geographical indication in India is Darjeeling tea. So let us discuss the question with regard to kennel craft. Consider the following statements with regard to kennel craft. It is a traditional wooden craft local to the town of Kinal or Kinal in Kobal district, Karnataka. It is very true, we discussed earlier. It is thought to have gained prominence and patronage under the Vijayanagara Empire. Yes, we have discussed this too. Vijayanagara Empire was very much supporting this craft in 15th and 16th century. Later it spread to Nawab of this Kopal district. It is also true. So we should go for the answer C, that is both 1 and 2. Thank you for watching. Let us wind up this session with this.